been a disaster. Everything kind of blew up in our faces. I haven't been real happy to be back at the farm.
It ain't been fun, it ain't been easy. We're gonna say change our names to Fencing GBU. We literally lived in a jungle for 6 months and made a fence. Like, just unsubscribe. Fire us. Fire us as a channel.
Don't listen to him.
Hate our gut.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We are finally back with a new video for you guys, and we have a lot of explaining to do. We are no longer engaged now because we got married. We had a wonderful wedding in the Keys. We had all of our family arrive. It was my dream wedding. Everything was so great, just how I planned. After all that hard work of a whole year of planning, it's a relief that it went so well and that it was over. And then we had our honeymoon, and we've just been soaking up the time off and enjoying spending it with each other.
Yeah, we had a great time. This is the first time we've taken off ever since 5 years ago of starting the channel. So it was really weird for us for a Sunday to go by without uploading. It was a little bit crazy, a little bit sad, but I think it was worth it, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We hired a professional videographer, so they're going to get the footage back to us, and we'll share the festivities with you guys at a later date. And I think you guys will be, happy to watch it, and love overtook the day, and we had a great time. It was really nice. I had a $500 bet with my mom if I was going to cry, and I didn't cry. I can't believe.
I don't know. We'll look back on that video.
People have overtaken the internet, a bunch of men babbling there at the altar, and Kristen was like, "Are you gonna cry?" And I said, "Kristen, there's absolutely zero chance I'm gonna cry." I was like, but I could have cried, if
You really should wait till you see the video to see if you cried or not.
I mean, I guess if in the video I'm crying, Kristen did have me staring directly into the sun from my house.
Excuses.
So if there is a little tear, it was a technical issue. But yeah, it was a great time. We got to see all the family, and now we're back in the jungle, and I'm excited. I'm a jungle boy. I'm not a resort, flip-flopping around getting room service type of guy. I'm ready to get my hands dirty and get this work done. I got a wife now, and now I got to put my wife in a house. I can't have her living in a trailer forever, beating me down every day.
What? Who's beating you down?
Me. I'm beating myself down.
Okay.
My wife in the trailer.
That's what I thought. Now, I haven't been real happy to be back at the farm because it's been a disaster. Everything kind of blew up in our faces. It's been raining nonstop. There's been like a historic amount of rain happening in just our area, right?
Yes, the mountains of Puerto Rico, we're central, central in the mountainous area. And I guess with this time of year, it heats up and all the condensation goes up and then it dumps back down. But it has been pouring. It's been a bit of a state of emergency, I think, in a lot of ways. But for us, it's just been a lot of rain. And, it led to some problems.
It has flooded our whole area down where we've been living, which we thought wasn't supposed to flood, but the water's been running down our driveway and piling up in spots that obviously our land isn't completely flat. We didn't get that graded completely flat, so we've been working through that. We are thinking about getting more gravel driveway. If you remember in our previous videos, we had a lot of trouble getting that. We were having trouble renting a machine, then the machine broke, and now we just need to get someone to do it, fix it for us so we can move on from the driveway. We're wanting to do maybe a roundabout so we can just drive the car down and around without having to reverse off and on and get mud everywhere. Hopefully that will fix some problems for us. And then on top of that, with all the flooding, we've just been covered in mud. The animals are covering us in mud. It's just been mud everywhere, so that's been very frustrating. But also the rain did some more damage that we're about to show you now.
Okay, so with this slope, with my wooden fence, this side sloped a lot more, and I thought that I had done enough for that because I got 10-foot 4x4 posts, and I buried them like 3 feet in the ground. It was huge. I took my post hole diggers and I went super deep to where I had like 12-inch post hole diameters. I put 2 bags of concrete in each one. But what happened was, I'm guessing the water was coming down this slope, and maybe I had made some sort of channel with all the digging, and the water went down to where the concrete was and like washed it out and just slid one post like maybe 2 inches down, just slid down the mountain a little bit. So what I did to fix that was I went back and I dug it out, put more concrete in, and I strapped it to a tree, and I'm setting in even more concrete now for that one post that moved. So I'm going to set that back in, put another post next to it, and then bolt those posts together, and that should be enough, I think, to keep everything intact. But yeah, this whole thing just slid down. You can see about, I don't know, a ½ inch to an inch. One post moved, blasted the whole fence off. It was a nightmare. Another problem with this fence, because I went for the cheap boards, old Uncle Matty trying to save $1. I got these $5 boards instead of the next step up was $20 boards, and it did mold. We think we can pressure wash that mold off and go with a slightly darker stain. So we think we can save that and fix that. But first things first, I got to get the fence back together, put in one piece so that I can have something to pressure wash and stain.
I came over here because I'm going to take a break from work, and thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this video. I'm drinking AG1 today. As we were saying before on our trip, we were traveling, our honeymoon. I normally eat pretty healthy. Me and Matt eat pretty healthy, but when we're on vacation, all bets are off. So I've been feeling not so well digestion, so I'm getting back on my AG1, and it's been great for early morning routines before I work out. It just helps me with a little bit of relieving bloating and a little bit of an energy boost. Matt also loves drinking it because he gets a lot of work done around this farm, if you haven't noticed, and he needs a lot more energy, and I love that he drinks it because it cuts down on his coffee intake, which he can really skyrocket that. AG1 is a daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. In 8 to 12 ounces, I like to do 12 ounces of water because it helps me get more water intake. It has 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. So I know we've said it before, but we're saying again, if you are interested in getting AG1, it really has a lot of good benefits in just a small amount of drinks. It's the easiest way you can go to boost your focus, support mental clarity, improve concentration, and even helps manage stress, which we all know we could use. All right, if this sounds like something you're interested, head on over to the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get a 1-year free supply of D3 plus K2 vitamins and 5 AG1 travel packs free with your first subscription.
All right, so the first step that I have to do is take off all the planks from where they started removing. Everything back that way is gonna be fine, but from where they started falling off down, I need to take it off so that I can replace them because I don't know exactly where they're gonna fit now. I could just try to fit in between, but I don't think that's gonna work for a nice smooth fit. So I think we just gotta take them all down and start over. So what happened with the seismic twist that happened here is that the screws broke and they're sticking out. So now I have the painstaking task of going and getting these nubs out because I have to use this wood because it fits and I can't just tear it all down and start over. So I got to take these out. It ain't been fun, it ain't been easy, but obviously the easiest way is probably just to put my vice clamps on it, twist them out. Should go a lot quicker this way. Or you can just try the hammer, that might work as well. So with the water washing through a little bit here, I got one post fixed and it's very, very solid. This one's still a little bit flimsy, so I think I'm going to dig it down, put another post in next to it, and then put some concrete, like a bit of a wider bell around, because the soil is pretty poor. So if you don't have a wide area of concrete around, it seems to want to tilt. So I'm going a little bit shallower, wider, kind of like a mushroom for these, and I think that's going to work a lot better. It definitely worked better for that one, because if the soil moves or sinks, you know, this clay is super, super soft. So I don't, I think I needed a little more concrete than I did on this slope because the water moves. So what I'm gonna do, dig this out, set this post in, put the concrete, and then we should be able to just move forward. So now that I have a big bell, kind of like an upside down mushroom dug around this, I'm gonna pour the concrete in, then I'm gonna set the post, pack it down a little bit, and then let it settle in, and then we should be able to put all of our planks back up.
Are you worried you don't have a very optimistic face on?
It's just I'm rebuilding my old fence, so it's hard to get optimistic when you got to go back and do stuff. But that's just the way life goes. Sometimes we rush projects a little bit, and you know, we paid for it this time.
We're only human beings.
We're only human. We make mistakes, but we're back and we're fixing it. You know, it shows both sides. There's a lot of lessons to cleave from this, you know. Try to do it right the first time, but even if you think you're doing it right the first time, Mother Earth has its own plans in mind, and she will rain for 3 weeks straight, monsoon, and wash everything down the river. There's a lot more architecture going to grass with these waters in Puerto Rico than this old wooden fence, so I don't have that much to complain about, I guess.
Not only did we pour the cement for the posts that we're going to get the water poured into later, we also bolted it together, so hopefully that helps a little more structure, and now it's time to put the panels all back together. Alright guys, we came into another problem with all the movement of the posts and the wood swelling and all that. We have a weird amount of space left over. There was supposed to be more space for the last panel, so we can't end it like this, and there's not enough room to put another one on, so we're gonna have to come up with some strange idea of screwing on more 2x4 to have more room for the last plank to go on. It's really the only idea that we can come up right now. This fence has been a nightmare. It's been endless problems for us. But do you think this is coming to an end?
It's definitely coming to an end. I wish it was already at an end. We still have to make a door for this thing. That's the crazy part. I still have to make a door for it. I have to ask to wash the entire curb, and then we still have to landscape and lights. It's never coming to an end.
This project is
Welcome back to Sailing GBU. Good. We're gonna change our names to Fencing GBU. We literally lived in a jungle for 6 months and made a fence. Like, just unsubscribe. Fire us. Fire us as a channel.
Don't listen to him.
Hate our guts.
This is real life, people. This was a year-long project, clearly. We did a lot of other things. It hasn't been a year-long project. It just feels like that. It's never ending. I thought this was going to be like a couple months. You thought it was going to be like a month.
Well, if we think about the actual time we have into the actual fence, probably is a month. But total, we could break down those numbers if you want to be even more bored than you already are. But either way, we're scabbing them in, we're getting this fence done, and we're putting the panels up.
Yeah, no one's going to see behind anyways. It's just jungle. So no one's going to see behind there. Gents, we are back in business. The fence is back up. Now it's just to make it look better, because right now it just looks like a moldy old fence even though it's brand new.
Yeah. We took a pivot with our stain options, and we think we're going to be able to get it done. The rain's coming in, but there's no real reason I couldn't pressure wash in the rain, right? We're getting buck wild. So yeah, let's move on to the next step.
Alright, it's the next day. Today we are going to try to clean the mold off. We have a scrub brush and a cleaner that we got from Home Depot that says it'll help. I'm not thinking it might work too well, but it's worth a try. And then we did get a higher power pressure washer machine that will hopefully, what I see on social media, really rips the mold right off. So that's questioning the whole thing, right? You think that we should we went back and forth. We thought maybe we should just stain over the mold and just live with it and do a darker stain, and then maybe it's not noticeable. But deep down inside, I felt like we really need to clean it before we stain it.
Yeah, we went back and forth because it's a massive undertaking to clean the whole fence. The mold did get in that cheap wood because it was never pressure treated, so I don't think it looks necessarily horrible. And if we go with a darker stain, it's just going to look like different layers of dark stain. It doesn't look good with this kind of red burnt orange that we went with, because it's black and burnt orange mixed together. You can tell it's mold. But if it's brown or even a darker deeper cedar style color, I think even if the black or green mold kind of blends in, it will just look like a darker cedar. But that being said, it doesn't matter, because as you know, my gentleman out there with wives, you're gonna do the way she says. So you're gonna pressure wash the fence. Then the easiest way to solve this is we'll let Kristen hold that pressure washer for about 7 planks, and she'll say, yeah, this is actually kind of pointless. So we'll do that, and then we'll move on with our lives, and we'll get it.
That's
either
not
way,
what's gonna happen.
We're gonna get a beautiful fence though out of the deal, and that is a guarantee.
All right, I think it worked. The cleaner did. We were supposed to spray it on, let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, but by the time that happened, it was dry, so it just worked better spraying a ton on and scrubbing it. But overall, it didn't make that big of a difference. What really made the difference, obviously, was the pressure washer. So
Yeah, and
you
have
probably
to do it
could
about an inch at a time. So if you think about a 42-foot long, 7-foot tall fence, cleaning it 1 inch at a time, it's quite the project. But you know what?
Tired?
Well, I did it. Here's the thing I'm learning about construction projects is you really can't save any money. We saved our money on the wood, you know, is about half price. We saved about $2,000 on the wood, but $2 to $3,000 on the wood, but then we, you know, had to spend the time doing the pressure washing.
It could be a lot of different things.
By the time I'm
so
done, I'll be making $10 an hour.
We could have put better stain and sealer on the first time, which we didn't. So
True.
you live and you learn, okay, Matthew?
Well, we're learning the lesson, buy once, cry once. It's very hard for us because she's like 4th generation penny pincher from hell, and I'm just like a broke boy. All my family been broke, so we never had the money to spend. So we don't want to spend, you know, we don't want to spend $20 on a board when we can spend $5 on a board and $15 on Marlboro Reds. So that's how we got down to my family.
We
So
don't smoke. So
we're having a hard
we don't.
time. Well, we want to spend it on something fun. Sodies for me, maybe. But we're trying to just come around with how much things are going to cost and how much simpler it is to spend the money and do it right the first time. I thought we learned that on the boat with the $700 paint that we had to buy for the inside of our boat, but we haven't learned the lesson yet. So we're still tripping over those nickels.
Well, it's a lot more money for a bigger property.
I know, we're tripping over those nickels. So we'll
But
figure it out.
it's coming
though.
out. I'm really happy with the pressure washer. I'm glad we took that step. I mean, we only did part of it, but we think we're gonna let this dry now, and then we're gonna hit it with a stain. We have a stain and sealer mix that's in chocolate colored, and then we have another stain or another sealer on top of that we might put on also. We're really gonna seal this up and make sure to hit the top, because I know a lot of people are worried about that. But overall, if it's a darker color and it gets moldy again,
it should absorb the color. And if
Yeah.
not, I'm gonna buy myself a tractor and just run this whole thing down and block the rest of it. So, you know, we got to do block for the house anyway, so I'll just get a bunch of block out here. All right, I have my spray gun here, which I'm going to use for the bulk of the fence. And when I get closer down toward the white stucco, I'm going to use my brush here. It does a good job as well. You just kind of mist this brush and then put a nice thin layer on. It applies really well. This way I don't get into an overspray issue where I'm brown staining my beautiful block wall that I worked tirelessly on. All right, so now we got our coat on. It looks good. It's nice and rich. It did grab some mold spots that I couldn't get completely off, and it does blend a lot better. The black can blend in with the brown, whereas it wasn't blending in with that really, really light burnt orange that we had. So this looks good. I'm very happy with it. It still looks good with the gravel, with the landscaping plants we plan to do here. I think it's going to look really good. So happy with that. But now to make sure, because I do see some clouds on the horizon, some cumulonimbuses. I'm going to put my water guard. I'm going to try to get that on there because the sun is shining. This is the most sun we had in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to rip it, get this in there, and get it protected.
Guys, I think it came out really great. From what it started to what it is now, I'm blown away. I'm super excited. It is a lot of work, so I feel bad for Matt because it's a lot of tedious water pressuring and stuff like that. But overall, I'm hoping this might be the end of the staining and sealing of the wood of the fence era.
No, that's the end of the saga. This is going to work for sure. We're going triple what we did before, and the color blends. It doesn't matter. There's some leftover mold that still blended just fine. But it's going to work well. Big Mama had a little bit of a panic attack when we first came back, and that torrential downpour made that little problem. But with the rain we've been getting, what probably happened now that I've been up here more and thinking about it was we put down that paper up to the fence, and then we put the gravel on it. So probably what happened going down that is all the water hit the paper and it went down, and it probably did make a lot more water moving through there than I would have originally thought. But with the amount of destruction that's been taking place in Puerto Rico and, you know, in around here with this, because it wasn't just a little bit of rain. It's like, I don't know if it's just this time of year. It rains this much all the time. I've heard some differing reports, so my Puerto Ricans let me know. Does it just rain this much once a year for a month, or is this like I saw someone that said every like 10 years you get really, really bad rain like this. I can't imagine every river and stuff like that's been overflowing and knocking people's houses down every year, but maybe that is what happened. So a lot of rain came through. We had a little bit of a pickup, but all in all, I'm happy with how it's coming out. And you know what? We didn't get the exact color we want, but we can't be brats and we can't be babies. I still think this brown looks really good.
I think it looks good.
And it might look better than it did
Yeah.
before. I just can't quite tell yet, and we'll see. Time will tell exactly how it holds up. But we're super sealing it because we want everything to look good. You know, everything's got to hold up here in the jungle, and there is, you know, I'm learning a lot of respect for woodworkers and block workers and stuff like that. There's, you know, the wood is kind of still alive. Even though it's chopped down and made into boards, it still grows and it still moves and it kind of does what it wants to do. And there's a lot of hidden mysteries in that grain. Is it going to twist this way? Is it going to bow that way? Is it going to mushroom in the middle? And they do all different things. There's no way to really put your eye on it and tell that I can tell. Maybe a more discerning eye could tell. But it's going good. I'm happy. If you're happy, I'm happy.
I think it's coming out great, and I'm glad we're back. We're coming back with our weekly videos, so you don't have to worry about that. If you were worried, you guys could have checked out on Patreon. We did make a post on there. Could have checked it out, or at the end of the day, you can always message Matt on his Instagram. He answers every.
I try to get to everybody,
single
but we
person.
did, you know.
We did enjoy our honeymoon.
Yeah, we had to have
stuff
some
like-
respect for ourselves. We agreed. It's hard to turn it off. But when we had the wedding, we had the honeymoon, we said, look, for 2 weeks, we're just going to put it away. I'm not going to work. You know, we're not going to be posting, updating. We're just going to say, hey, it's fine. Everybody will be okay for 2 weeks with us missing. And, you know, we had a great time. But now it's back to work. And I'm having a great time again. You know, slinging that pressure washer. It ain't, you know, it ain't so bad. It ain't so bad, really.
All right, stay with us, guys.
Oh, and all of our animals were good. We were gone for a couple
Oh, yeah.
weeks. We were gone for 2 weeks. Our neighbor, he owns a farm as well. He was helping us feed the animals, and he makes them even fatter than we feed them. So he takes great care of them. They seemed really happy to be back. You know, Crash is a lunatic, that crazy goat. Our chickens are all doing good, so everyone was doing great. All the cats are fat and happy. So I was really happy about that. It's the longest we've been gone since we started the farm. And of course, I was worried about the animals. Even my wild iguanas, when I came back, they ran right up to me and let me feed them a guayaba, something like that. So it was fun. It was great. Animals are safe. Animals are healthy. Everything is good.
Great. Well, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a comment below, and we'll see you next week. Bye.